Do you ever try to do the right thing with your retirement savings, but just end up more confused than when you started? This is a story about annuities, Roth conversions, and a retiree who just wanted to make a smart move, but kept running into noise instead of real answers.
Welcome to Retirement Red Flags, where we unpack real stories from real retirees who've saved well, but still wonder what they might be missing.
Today's story comes from someone we'll call Gary. He's thoughtful, funny, and not afraid to get his hands dirty, literally. When we first spoke, Gary was outside in 95-degree heat, digging a garden by hand, with a cocktail in hand. That alone tells you a lot about the guy.
Gary had done a solid job saving. His funds were managed by a big-name firm, and he wasn't looking to jump ship. But he was wrestling with something deeper, the uncertainty around what to do with his money now that he was retired. One conversation stuck with him. He met with a new advisor who mentioned annuities, but when Gary asked for a better understanding, he felt dismissed. "I think he thought I was some ding-dong who didn't know anything," Gary said. Then he never followed up.
That interaction really stuck with him, and the more he looked into annuities, the more confusing they became. Fees, caps, floors, guarantees. It felt like every answer just raised more questions. But then Gary shared something that made it all click. He said, "It's like back home. We had a water well. You only pulled out what you needed, but you had to know where the pump was and how much the bucket would hold."
That was Gary trying to get clarity. He didn't want to be sold. He wanted to understand. So he started asking better questions like, how are annuities different from bonds? What are the tax implications of converting to Roth? How do I actually get income out of this without getting slammed by taxes later?
That's when he came across a strategy that some retirees use, where instead of dumping money into a product, they layer different accounts. A traditional IRA, a Roth IRA, and something called a tax-refundable private asset.
This was built for people like Gary, retirees without pensions who are staring down the barrel of required minimum distributions. It creates a tax-refunded bucket of income that helps offset future RMDs.
That's when it hit Gary, the aha moment. It wasn't about choosing the best account. It was about creating options now so he wouldn't feel trapped later.
Exactly. That's the moment Gary realized, if I only have one well to draw from, I'm stuck with whatever flaws it has. But if I have 3 wells, Roth, traditional, and the private asset, I can draw smarter, depending on the tax rules when I'm 75.
Now, Gary hasn't figured it all out yet, but he's no longer stuck. He understands the terrain. He's taking small Roth conversions. He's building that additional well. And most importantly, he's asking better questions.
If you're like Gary, retired, thoughtful, but wondering how to avoid big tax surprises, it might help to grab the same free retirement checklist he started with. Even if you're not quite ready, it helps to know what red flags to look out for.
Retirement's not about hitting a number, it's about knowing what comes next. And that's why we keep telling these stories. And if you want more stories like Gary's, or you're ready to take that first step toward clarity, visit us anytime at retirementredflags.com.
Until next time, keep asking the smart questions and keep an eye out for those red flags.